After watching this video, you will understand exactly how OpenClaw 4.29 quietly turned AI agents into thoughtful coworkers that remember people, think before they speak, and run on free NVIDIA muscle, and why that shifts what a small team can actually do this month. Your AI agent just built a secret file on your client. It knows her name is Sarah. It knows she runs Project X, it knows she got annoyed on April 15th, and that you promised to follow up by Friday. You did not tell it to do any of that. It just started doing it on its own. That is what OpenClaw 4.29 quietly shipped 2 days ago, and almost nobody is talking about what it actually means yet. Stay with me, because the next 14 minutes are going to change how you think about every AI tool sitting on your laptop right now. Here is the part that surprised me. Most AI updates are tiny. A new button, a faster model, a bug fix nobody asked for. This one is different. OpenClaw 4.29 dropped on April 30th, and it changed 3 things at once that almost never change together. The way agents talk in group chats, the way agents remember people, and the way agents run on serious hardware without you paying a fortune. Each one of those alone would be a normal update. All 3 in 1 week is a very different thing. And there is a 4th piece hidden inside this release that I want to come back to later because it might be the most useful part of the whole thing for anyone running a small team. I will get there. First, you need the bigger picture. Quick pause before we go deeper because this connects directly to what we are about to look at. If you are watching this and thinking you want to actually use tools like OpenClaw to save real hours every week in your work, the AI Profit Boardroom is where I show people exactly how to do that, step by step. We walk through how to set up agents like the one we are about to talk about, how to make them remember the right things about your clients, and how to plug in free models like the new NVIDIA ones so you are not burning cash every month. Link is in the description. Now back to the story. Think of OpenClaw like a kitchen. For the last year, AI agents in that kitchen were like enthusiastic interns. Smart, fast, but loud. They would shout every thought out loud while cooking. They would forget who ordered what. They would ignore the head chef and just start chopping. Useful, but exhausting. What 4.29 did is hand those interns a notebook, a quiet voice, and a pair of headphones. They still cook fast. They just stopped being annoying about it. And here is the insider bit most people scrolling past this update are missing. The team did not just add features. They changed the default behavior of every agent in every group chat everywhere. If you use OpenClaw inside Discord, Telegram, or Slack, your agent now replies privately by default. No more pinging the whole channel every time someone says hello. That single change saves hours of cleanup per week for any team running shared rooms. You can flip it back if you want with a setting called messages.groupchat.visible_replies, but the new normal is calmer. Now, here is the first big payoff. The agents in 4.29 think before they speak. That sounds small. It is not. Before this update, when an agent needed information, it would do its work in front of you. It would say, looking that up now, then say, running the tool, then say, got it, then finally answer. 4 messages for 1 answer. In 4.29, all of that happens silently. The agent uses its tools in the background, then sends 1 clean message at the end through what the team calls a message tool. Luke, one of the developers, posted a before and after on X showing a Discord channel with 12 messages of agent chatter on the old version and 1 short, polished reply on the new one. 12 to 1. That is the difference between a coworker you trust and a coworker you mute. And that pivot from noisy to quiet is what unlocks the next thing. Because once an agent is not screaming every thought, it has the room to actually start remembering. This is the part one cannot stop thinking about. OpenClaw 4.29 builds something the team is calling a People Wiki. Every conversation your agent has, it quietly takes notes on the humans inside it. Names, aliases, roles, who knows who, when they were mentioned, what was said about them. If you mention Sarah 3 times in a chat, the agent automatically builds a card for her. Sarah, client, Project X, mentioned April 15th, follow-up promised by Friday. It even tracks where the information came from, which the team calls provenance. So if the agent ever tells you something about Sarah, you can ask it where it learned that, and it will show you the exact message. That is the kind of thing a good assistant does, not a chatbot, an assistant. And it gets weirder. The system also handles partial recall on timeouts. Translation: if the agent is in the middle of looking something up and the network drops, it does not forget everything. It remembers what it had so far and keeps going. That is a tiny detail that solves a huge real-world problem, because most agents in 2025 would just collapse and start over. This one does not. There is one more thing inside the memory update that almost slipped past me. Per chat filters. You can tell your agent to remember everything from your work Slack, but nothing from your personal Discord, or remember everything from one client channel, but treat another like a clean slate. That is a privacy feature dressed up as a productivity feature, and it is the kind of thing you only notice you needed after you have been burned once. Now, let me pivot, because we still have not talked about the part of this update that costs you nothing and gives you a lot. NVIDIA. Yes, that NVIDIA, the chip company that everyone keeps saying is eating the world. OpenClaw 4.29 added native support for NVIDIA's NGC models. That includes Nematron and Llama 3.1, which are heavyweight models that used to require a research budget to run. Now you grab an API key, run one command in your terminal, and you are done. The command is OpenClaw models set, then NVIDIA/NVIDIA/llama-3.1-Nematron-70-instruct. Long string, one line, done. Why does this matter to you? Because most small teams are paying real money every month for access to top-tier models. A solo operator running a few agents through a paid API can easily spend a few $100s a month just on calls. NVIDIA's models, through this new provider, are free or close to free for most use cases. That is not a small thing. That is the difference between an agent being a fun toy and an agent being something you can actually leave running all day without panicking about the bill. And the model catalog loads from manifests now, which is a boring sentence that hides a real win. It means new models show up faster without you having to wait for a software update. Okay, time for the honest part, because if I just keep stacking wins, you should not trust me. So here is the straight talk. This is a beta release. Beta means rough edges. Some users on X have already reported odd behavior in the first day of testing, mostly around the new message tool, occasionally getting confused in very busy channels. The team is patching fast, but if you run OpenClaw in production for a real client right now, do not just hit update and walk away. Back up your config first. The command is openrpa backup create. Run it, then update. Then test in a sandbox before you let your live agents touch the new version. The other honest thing is that the People Wiki is powerful, and powerful things have edges. If you are building agents that touch sensitive client data, you need to think about what your agent is allowed to remember and what it is not. The per chat filters help, but the responsibility is still yours. Nobody at OpenClaw is going to call you if your agent quietly built a profile on someone you did not want it to track. That is on you. The good news is that the tools to control it are right there. You just have to use them. Now, step back with me for a second, because if you only look at the changelog, you miss what is actually happening here. For the last 2 years, the AI conversation has been about bigger models and smarter answers. That race is still going, but quietly, underneath it, a second race started. The race to make agents that behave like good coworkers instead of clever parrots. Coworkers remember your clients. Coworkers stay quiet in meetings unless they have something useful. Coworkers tell you where they got their information. Coworkers do not blow your monthly budget. OpenClaw 4.29 is not the loudest update of the month. It will not trend the way a new chatbot launch trends, but it is the first release I have seen this year where every single feature points in the same direction. Less noise, more memory, lower cost, more trust. That is the shape of the next year of AI for normal people, not bigger brains, better behavior. And the teams that figure this out first in the next 60 days are going to look like wizards to everyone still stuck managing chatty interns. Remember that fourth thing I told you I would come back to? Here it is: follow-up commitments. You can now tell your agent, opt-in style, to remind you about things it has promised on your behalf. So if your agent tells a client you will send a proposal by Tuesday, it will quietly nag you on Monday night. That is the kind of feature that sounds boring in a changelog and saves your reputation in real life. And combined with the message steering feature, which lets you inject a follow-up into a run that is already happening, you basically have an agent that can be redirected mid-task without starting over. That is how real assistants work. So, quick question for the comments, because I actually read these and I want to know: what is the one task in your week right now that you wish an AI agent would just quietly handle in the background without asking you 12 questions first? Drop it below. I read every reply, and the best ones often turn into the next video. While you are thinking, if you want the full setup guide for OpenClaw 4.29 with the NVIDIA provider, including the exact config I use for client tracking, come join us inside the AI Success Lab. It is our free community. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. You will get every note from this video, plus access to 67,000 members who are quietly building the kind of agents we just talked about. And if you want the deeper playbook on turning tools like OpenClaw into a real working system for your business, the AI Profit Boardroom is where that happens. Same link in the description. Your agent is already taking notes. The only question left is whether you are the one telling it what to write down, or whether you are the one it is writing about.